Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Boreal Bay, right around the perfect time for Christmas. Now, you may or may not be able to hear what's different about this episode, and I'll just cut straight to it. My mic's broke. I had to record all of this audio from my mic over while editing, and hopefully I'm able to put together a decent episode in time for Christmas Day. It's a new tradition that started last year where I upload Boreal Bay every Christmas. So basically, you only get one episode of this a year, my bad. But without further ado, enjoy. So in today's episode, I have no real plan, other than really just try to get rid of the industrial problem, and try to just expand to 8,000, double the population, that has been the goal for each episode of the series thus far. So, I guess the main plan is to just start building residential. Okay, so when I said we should focus on residential, that's true. Definitely true. However, I have just made the great idea of building a university. So, as you're about to see, here's the first road coming along. I am building the University of Boreal Bay. Now, this is a huge step, and I do not really know why or what provoked me to just do this out of thin air, out of the blue. And I guess we have a university now, and I will time-lapse this segment, so here you go. Okay, so now the university's done, so that's progress towards hopefully more things. And is it just me, or did I notice a huge population growth? Now, I'll let you on a little secret. I did add a little, by little I mean few, bits of residential zones in. It's nothing substantial, so you didn't really miss anything. However, what I'm about to do next is add an entirely new district, and it will be huge. And this is what I've been talking about. This is Elm Acres, and Elm Acres obviously is going to be my next big area. But before I go straight into just only worrying about residential, I gotta fix a few things. For example, water issues. And another issue, because of that, pollution, which affects it. And we also have no more space to put our sewage. The only way we could even put more things in more areas is by finding new room. So, not only did I just build Elm Acres, I am going to build another new district that is going to do a bit more of the industrial handiwork, if you will. So, we'll go look at that. And here we are. This is, if my memory serves me correct, Butler Heights, I think. I think this is called Butler Heights, or Butler Park, or Butler District. I don't know. One of the three. And this new area is going to be a major player in the industrial economy of our growing city, town. I would just call it a town for now. Maybe by next episode we can introduce the idea of it being a city. However, Butler, whatever, is where we're going to put a lot of new industrial things. For example, what I'm going to place right now is more water service buildings. Quick editor thing there. I found it on an audio library and I thought it was funny, so I just had to include it. Okay, so just a quick couple updates. As you can see, sewage seems to be bad. Don't worry, it's getting fixed right about now because I just installed new sewage plants. But aside from that, what I'm going to build right now is a new neighborhood. And also, if you couldn't tell, Butler District is built in a new area, which means, yes, I did purchase a new area, which is also why I'm $4,000 in debt. But aside from that, new area is about to get built, so that's incredible. And I think I'm also going to purchase a new area as well. So let's see it. Side note, that does mean I'm going to have to do another time lapse. Okay. I know that wasn't really necessary to do a time lapse, but I had to incorporate that song in there somewhere. It sounded so nice. As somebody who loves jazz, I play the trumpet myself. That just sounded great. Just a big band feature. Anyways, I'm getting carried away. I just finished up painting the new district. Here I'm tidying up some new things, and you may see me getting rid of a good bit of residential. And you may call me stupid, but this is great for the long run, because if I do not do this now, it'll be way harder to later, and I'll explain. So, residential people will complain about two biggest things, really, are either pollution via just bad quality of, like, just air pollution, water pollution, or noise pollution. And I find noise pollution to be harder to control. Big tip, do not ever put like monuments or special areas, unless they're like parks, in residential areas, because boy, they cause a lot of noise, and it's really hard, just to solve that issue. And you may say trees, but usually you don't have enough room to put that many trees down to nullify the issue. So right now, I'm getting rid of the problem now so I don't have to deal with it later, and it'll work. Also, I added an exit to the Butler District. Okay, so I know this is a big skip ahead, but it isn't really, because all I've been doing up until this point is a bunch of setbacks and setup for what I'm about to do now. Big step number one. There it is, the stock exchange for a city. You also realize we are now over 10 grand in debt. This is the exact point in the episode, in the original mic recordings, which I can't hear, but I remember saying vividly, where I realized, hold on, I did not put this, I basically put this on sandbox mode. Why should I care about how much money I spend? I should only do that if I'm doing the real thing. So I decided I'm going to go for more aesthetics now, instead of actually being completely enthralled by the debt or the income I'm having here. So I did extend, as you'll see down there, I did extend Elm Acres by a little bit, but that was only to compensate for the fact that I got rid of a ton of residential in the a little bit of time that we went past. Also, this is, I guess, the second big thing. I zoned a very, very minute amount of office district, and it actually popped up, which is amazing news. So keep an eye on that. Okay, so I just built a school, as you can see in the top left. Well, now it's off screen. And I renamed this place Pier Manor. Those are the only two things that happened. Everything I just skipped was very, very dumb and boring, which I'm glad now that this was not in the original episode, because I spent, I'm not even joking, 20 minutes in the stock exchange. Obviously, my game was paused. And you may say, how did it work then? Because I was only unpausing and pausing it just enough for only one cycle to come through, and I did that for like 20 minutes. Very dumb idea. So we're here now, and I built the high school, and I renamed this area Pier Manor, and now we're gonna start finally deciding what to do here. But first, I really want to put a prominent feature in the old town part of my city, So I've decided that I'm going to give my town a very small sports stadium. And eventually I end up deciding that my city deserves a small soccer team, so that's exactly what I gave it. I also gave it parking lots in that giant square that isn't being utilized at the moment, and now I have a soccer team. And now the next time lapse is about to happen, because this, I'd argue, is one of the top 5 top 3 probably most important things I did during this episode. I gave my city an amusement park. This is like the final nail in the coffin before, I even had a prospect of turning back to try to save money. Again, in a sandbox world, which now looking back, of course, it makes sense that I didn't do this, but here, I'm going to go into a time lapse because I'm about to make a massive amusement park, and it will be pretty awesome because it's going to be on this very cool, outstretched pier. Enjoy. Okay then, and there we go. That was our amusement park. Crestland, is it? I don't know. I really like it. I really loved building it in the moment, and I think the next step in the recording of this is adding on to the university, which was probably like the defining feature of this episode. But right before I add on to the university here, what I'm about to do is just add some more residential on, or, the most I can onto this peninsula here, on the very edge of, what's the place called? Oh yes, Pier Manors. Anyways, we are going to get to the university now. And look, we are here now at the university. So many more people. Because everything I have been doing in between then, and I did not realize it until I've been looking through back all this footage, this would have been a way more boring episode, actually, I think, if my mic did work. Only for the reason because I'm doing nothing most of this episode other than just sitting around looking at the city, talking about stuff that is really not that important, and I don't know why I'm doing it, honestly, because it makes no sense. I'm just letting the population grow slowly, and the footage that I am showing you mostly this episode is footage in which something substantial happens. So this episode should be way more entertaining than what the original setup would have been like. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and Merry Christmas again. Oh, and another thing, should I make another time lapse here? I don't know, I just kinda came out of one. So, I think, yeah, I'll go to another time lapse. It's my video. Okay, another great little jazzy song as our time lapse diminishes, and here we go. We are going for the home stretch. Only 800 people left until this episode is over. Spoiler alert, folks, if anybody's made it this far. This episode's runtime was originally 2.5 hours. If you'll look, I bet by the time I'm done editing this, it'll be probably under 35 minutes, or if I'm even more drastic, under 30. So, that's kind of crazy. But yes, our university is done. It's looking great. There's more office now because it's somehow just popping up rapidly, which is great. It's looking like our town's getting bigger by the day, which, hold on, it is. So yeah, we have that down, and everything's looking great. And we'll look at the next great moment. So, spoiler alert, turns out we don't actually have to look that far for the next big moment, because there's only 40 seconds later that I decided, hey wait, I want my university to have sports teams. So, here we go. Yes, my university is getting sports teams now. It's gonna get baseball, football, track, basketball, and, of course, everybody's favorite, aquatics. And I realized this wasn't going to fit, but I then moved around the order ever so slightly, and for some reason that worked. I have no clue why, but I'm glad it did, because I then put aquatics, just aquatics there, then basketball, it's basketball, and then football fit snugly right along the freeway. And perfect. Now we have our sports complexes, and after that, I just built the parking lots. Now, you may wonder, what next? After I finished the sportsplex, I decided, hey, I gotta get to 8,000 somehow. So I built this very, very narrow strip of land south of the Butler district. And you may have problems about pollution. Well, I don't. You see, because I no longer had a problem with money, as you can see, I think we are now over 53 grand in debt. Because I no longer have problems with money. Also getting rid of those power lines real quick. I decided, hey, I'm gonna get rid of the concept of pollution. I mean, obviously not noise pollution, but normal pollution, yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. If you go into, it's that little brown triangle in the middle. It's like special landmarks, and you click on the Eden project. It's a thing that basically it says it reduces pollution, but for our purposes, it basically gets rid of pollution in your city. So yeah, we have no more pollution. So you could theoretically just build a house right next to a recycling plant, and nobody would care. Which for sandbox building, that changes everything. I might have to incorporate that in my just for myself playthroughs of City Skylines, because that changes the way cities can look. Anyways, I cannot leave you guys without probably one of the final time lapses of this video. So without further ado, here's the building of a new district. And with that, I finished up Butler Shores. This episode 8, a lot has happened, just an insane amount of, obviously, a lot of new residential, but we have an entire university sports team, both professionally, technically, and also at the university and collegiate level, so that's insane. We've also fixed basically every pollution issue, whether it be noise or, of course, just polluting the environment wise. It's honestly insane how much I got done in this episode. Unfortunately, though, because most of it was in short bursts of creativity, the 2.5 hour episode was very boring. It's kind of a little blessing that the audio did not work, because me having to go in manually and just doing this episode, editing it, I was able to make it hopefully a little bit more entertaining and more bite-sized for a little episode on Christmas Day. And I edited this the night before, I posted it right before I go to bed, so I did not, spend any of my Christmas, obviously, making this video, but I did want to make sure that it was scheduled to upload on Christmas, because I like doing that, and I'm gonna skip to where we finally hit 8,000. And here we go. 8,009 people. We were at 7,999 people for the longest time, because I paused it. And unfortunately right here, you're going to see a fire, which I do not know if I've done this already, but oh, yep, there it is. The fire helicopter depot station. I put it in because I decided, hey, we need this. In every city, you're going to get fires like this, especially wildfires, and they are so annoying to contain. So it's imperative that you have one of those, especially high capacity fire department stations. So I have that. I have 8,000 people, and that's going to be the episode. I mean, I got a lot done, and I'm going to leave you with a little tidbit that I'm happy that the recording version of me did, which is do a nice little cinematic overview, and this will have Christmas music, especially for you. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great Christmas. Happy holidays. Goodbye.